Welcome back to the Camp Memories podcast from Kramer to the Hill. We are pleased to bring you part 3 of our conversation with Nili Kosmal, who came to Camp Hess Kramer in the early 1970s and brought her wonderful talent to Israeli dancing and the creation of musical production. In part 3, we talk about Nili's family, the most famous childbirth that almost happened at camp, and her friendship with arts and crafts director Gerry Schusterman. Enjoy!
It's a wonderful story. Thank you for that. And I know that at least in later years, your husband of blessed memory, Eddie, was doing a lot of videos of your shows. Do you still have those videos?
All of them. In fact, before he died, the year before he died, he digitaled quite a few of them that I have on a disc. And these are my cherishable videos. Every once in a while, I watch one or two, but they're like my precious commodity. I mean, I just keep them, and I just hope they will, last for my, of course, they did for my children. My children grew up with this, but even for my grandchildren, it will be something that would be meaningful, maybe even when I'm gone.
Really, that's so good to hear that Eddie's gift of taking those videos, that they have persisted and that they can be cherished in the family. And speaking for Paul in the podcast, I'm sure that many people who will be listening to this would love to see some of those videos. If we can ever work out a way to show some of it on our channel, I'm sure that that would be an
Absolutely.
amazing thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the continuation of what I wanted to bring. So if I can bring it even in a digital form, that is so amazing. And I'm sure
Yeah.
that everyone participated in those that saw any of these, it would be very meaningful. Sure, absolutely, that's right. So we can definitely arrange for you to, I will lend it to you. You can record it. You can do whatever
Wonderful.
of all these productions
So
together.
Neely, I want to pivot. When I was working with you all those years, I saw that Gerry Schusterman and her husband Mel had some kind of special relationship with you, that you all were friends. And I could tell that, there were many of us who worked at camp, but that you and Gerry, and I include Mel, were as core, really like the core faculty for us kids. And I, I sometimes I feel like with the burning down of camp in the last fire and the loss of so many of Gerry's windows, that her legacy is gone to some degree. And I wish maybe you could talk a little bit about remembering her and what she brought to camp.
Well, yes, when I came to camp, I think she already was 2 years. Gerry came, I think, 2 years before or something like this. So she was already well established. Of course, when I did my dance performances the first few years, I don't know if you remember Sibel Bender. Do you remember
Of
Sibel?
course, of course,
Sibel
of
was
course.
doing drama, I was doing dance, and Gerry Schusterman did art. And the three of us kind of, joined together, but especially later on when Sibel left, it was Gerry and I. Gerry also, I mean, she has the same kind of focus as I did. When she worked on a project, she gave herself into it. She and Mel went along, Mel, her husband, they always worked on my scenery. And in order to work on the scenery, we worked at night. We worked hours and hours together, and we were designing. And between her and me, it was a really good bond that was created because she understood what I need. And she came around full force with the support of Mel to create it. And so, of course, in if we had any time together, any free time, and usually it was like Saturday night when it was fire. What is it? Campfire?
Cookout and campfire. Yeah.
Cookout, right? When there was
Yeah.
cookout, Gerry did not like. For me, it did not matter because my kids always loved it, so I wanted to go with them. But never liked. She and Gerry and Mel never liked camp. The cookout. So we used to go many times. We used to go out to eat in Malibu for dinner. We used to go for dinner. We used to spend socially. That was more or less like the only time, and then the other time was sometimes just during meal times. But both of us were very busy. Gerry was very involved when she was working on project, especially on the windows. I mean, she uh, took every free moment that she worked on it. I mean, it's not only the hours that the kids came to work, but she was there either in her or in her room, even designing and planning and figuring out how it's going to be done and how quick. And she always had to finish it before camp session was over. So it was really both of us, had similar mentalities in that extent that we just gave ourselves for our project.
I truly believe that growing up as a camper and becoming a counselor and a staff person, in the time that we were there, something that was very special. And I know that my daughter Catherine, who is still at camp as they hold it in Carlsbad, is really in the middle of that enjoyment as well. One of my favorites, and I should send this to you, one of my favorite pictures of you is when it was right before Ronnie was born. And I think it was probably the 4th of July, and we were all Israeli dancing on the lawn, and you were up on this little shack at the top of the shack with an old record player, speaker, and here you are, 9.5 months pregnant, doing your dancing steps as we all dance together, and lo and behold, a matter of weeks later, you come back to camp with Ronnie Lee.
I remember it very clearly. I mean, first of all, the dancing, Paul, was Friday night, and I was teaching dance, and I had what is a stopper watch because
Yeah.
I had what is it, cramps already. I had, and that was Friday night, and I wanted to see what's the different. The timing was very important to see
Oh,
how quick
contractions.
contractions. I had that's right. I forgot the word a long time ago.
I love it.
Yeah, I had contraction while teaching dance, and I had to look and I had to see, God forbid. And actually, Sylvia Miller, Dr. Miller's wife, we had a plan that if I have to go to the hospital, um, she will take me, or Dr. Al Miller prepared like clean white sheets in case I'm going to give birth at camp. To even start earlier, when I wanted to go to camp that summer, knowing that I was 7 months pregnant or something like this, 8 months pregnant, Steve in the beginning said, "No, you cannot do that. You are pregnant. You're going to give birth." I said, "Okay." So women did it in the field when they, birth. Birth is very natural. You're creating a whole crazy thing around it. I have no problem. I mean, I can give birth at camp, especially if I know that, there is Dr. Al Miller there. So I was not worried about it. And then it's finally accepted it. I mean, I really had to influence him that it is okay. And what happened was on the Friday night, I felt the contractions, but they were kind of irregular, so we hoped there's still time. And then Monday morning came. I think it was the 2nd of August, I'm rehearsing with a group on the stage in the morning. Then I really felt contractions, and they came too close. They came like 3 minutes. And Sylvia was there and said, Nili, you got to stop. And let me take you. I was supposed to do it at Cedars Sinai. And so I don't think I even stopped rehearsal. I think I even finished the rehearsal. She took me home. And the interesting thing is, on that day, we had to sign the papers to buy this house that we live in. And so Eddie says, no, you don't go to the hospital until you sign the papers. So Sylvia is waiting there at my home. I mean, my home was an hour away from camp. And she's waiting. He says, Eddie, she has to go to the hospital. I said, well, she needs to sign first. And I signed the paper for our house here. And after that, Eddie took me to Cedars Sinai. We just started in 1976. It's the first building. And so he took me to Cedars. And I came there, I think, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then at 6 o'clock, Ronnie was born. 6 o'clock that evening. I mean, so it was quick. I did not get a chance even to get to the delivery room because my contractions were way too fast, and so they were rushing me. And this is how Ronnie was born on Monday, August 2nd, and August 4th, Wednesday morning. I said, there is a production that I need to continue, that there is a performance Friday night. I better get there on time to finish the rehearsals. And so I went with my new baby. I went back Wednesday morning back to camp. And I remember I came, I came during lunchtime, and I went to Gildred Hall. That was the dining area at that time. I think Steve announced that there is a new baby to our camp, Nili Kosmal, and then he sent me back. He said, go, we'll get you the food to your room. We don't want you to get involved because your baby may get sick. You cannot afford it. So they brought the food to my cabin, and I was there with the baby, and my 2 kids remained there. And I just remember that Wednesday afternoon, the kids there was the Brewer lawn, they were playing, and I knew that I really wanted to rehearse. Steve did not let me. So I told the kids to come to my room and practice. And so, I yelled at, the kids at the student lawn and said, let's try to do it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just like regular time, but we'll do it in my home. So there were a few kids that came to rehearse. I think that I got some of the lead parts. And after a while that we were rehearsing, Steve came to my cabin and he was yelling at them. He said, don't dare coming close to her. You may get the baby sick. And so I just, I had to give up. He had someone else taking my place. I forget her name. But she continued the rehearsals until Friday. And Friday night, there was the production. That was Cinderella. That was the Cinderella. Yeah, that was the Cinderella. And I was sitting in the audience. I just was, I was directing from a few, steps away, sitting, among the audience. I just could not sit still. But again, this was the day that was the month that I did Cinderella. So, but we still performed on a Friday.
And you do know, Neely, that
Andrea Cohen.
Oh,
Yes.
Andy. Yeah, yeah.
Andrea
Yeah,
Cohen was the one who took over, and she started rehearsing with me before, knowing that at one point she may have to take over. And
yeah.
so she was well prepared.
I can tell you that there are at least 200 people in this world that know Ronnie's birth weight.
What was it? 7 pound?
Seven, 7 pounds,
7 pound,
four ounces.
8 ounces.
Yeah, something like that. Seven. Yeah, yeah.
Ronnie Lee
Neely,
Kosmal.
you are such a Sabra, and you must be making all of Hadera proud, for how you have embodied the Israeli spirit of work and work ethic into your life here in America. And you know how I think Steve used to say that what you do speaks so loudly, hear what you're saying. I remember saying that your actions speak louder than your words. And what your action there to not abandon your work, even at the most difficult time in childbirth, that really says a lot about you, and to your credit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I could not see it. You know what, Paul? I don't know if another Israeli woman would do it nowadays. It's different. I think I was crazy. I was unique to that extent of being crazy, and looking at my art project more important than anything else. I mean, not more important. I could not say that. I could do it at the same time. I could give childbirth, which is, as I said, it's natural. And the reason I know naturally is that the Arab women used to give birth in the Arab women who worked in Israel at the time. They did it because they did not have any place to go. So I thought if they can do it, why couldn't I? So I did not do it in the field. I did it pretty much on the stage, almost. So so thank you, Paul. But that I certainly look back at it and say, yes, I did the right thing.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping, Neely, that you could tell the story of Ronnie Lee's leadership shirt, which is kind of became
1991,
famous. Was it
that's correct.
1991?
1991. She got when she was 1 year old. Of course, we always celebrated her birthday at camp. And it always, like August 2nd, it was leadership. I usually worked on leadership program. And Steve used to, the first year, he brought her on a food cart. And he had a shirt for her saying Ronnie Lee Kosmal, Ronnie Lee Kosmal Leadership 1991. That was her. I think it was 1991, wasn't it?
So that it was,
I have a picture. I'll look
and
for it
she
and I'll
was
send
only
it to
one
you.
year old when she wore that shirt, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
exactly. I mean, the shirt is very small. I should
yeah.
have, I should have that shirt unless she stole it from me.
I love
But
it.
if Ronnie has it, I'm not sure that she still has it.
Yeah,
So I really should take a look and see if I can find it. I mean,
yeah.
that's adorable. It was wonderful.
And I know that, if memory serves, both Mickey and Danny played instruments. Mickey was the drummer, and I think Danny played bass. There's one picture I remember from, Paul playing the piano, and Mickey has got his drum kit set
That
up.
was Hannah Senesh. That was, and
That
actually, that was Mickey had his own drum portion that he just played the drum and he created it himself. I mean, it was just, I mean, there's so much creativity in that project that I thought this is one of the highlights of being at camp all these years. It just,
and I and I think it speaks to the creativity of your family as a whole. And and have any of your grandchildren actually been performing?
The last thing you can see on Facebook that Mickey put is my granddaughter who is in ice skating performance in Santa Clarita. She got the part of Mary Poppins as an ice skater. She's going to be bat mitzvah at the end of this month.
Oh,
And
Mazel
she's
tov.
getting the lead part. Okay. Zoe, who was at Milken first, she got lead parts during productions there. Then she went to Leo de Toledo High School. She graduated from there, and she had lead part in her 9 to 5. Is that 9 to 5? She was the main character in 9 to 5. So yes, they somehow continue. Unfortunately, we could not send them to Camp Hess Kramer. I mean, that was the problem. We loved all of us. I mean, camp has put such tremendous impact on all of us, including Eddie, including Mickey and Danny. One of right after the fire, Danny, who does not live here, now he lives in New Jersey. Before he lived in Berkeley. But anyway, when he came one day and Mickey came here, the three of us went back to see camp after the fire. It was so devastating for us. I mean, for them, Mickey saw his children growing up there. Danny does not have children. Mickey saw his children going through camp, and obviously could not. They have been going to Camp Alonim. But the visit of camp after the fire was so heartbreaking for me and for both Mickey and Danny. But we went through all the memories. I mean, went from the cookout to the campers' tents and buildings. And here, this is what we did here. This is what we did there. It was so emotionally involved visit. And we had to climb in because the gate was closed. We had to climb in order to get into the camp. And I climbed. That was
I believe you.
yeah, I climbed on, and not only this, there was one area that we had to go to cross the not the river, the
Creek.
The creek.
little huh?
The creek.
The creek.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a big log that we had to cross, and Mickey thought I would be able to make it, and Danny was standing there. I mean, I had to cross with the log and balance. That was just a few years ago. And Mickey said, "Come on, let's go." Mickey was the first one to cross because otherwise we had to go all the way around back. So I was a little hesitant, but I decided to do it. And I started walking, and I think just to not embarrass myself and my children, I made it. But it was really a task. I'm looking back at it now. I said, "What a crazy woman I was."
Yeah, that's all your dance training was right there.
My balance now is not as good though.
Yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
what I was worried about, but I still made it. And
Oh, that's
the
wonderful.
experience was absolutely unbelievable. The whole family.
Neely, this has been a wonderful time. I think I can speak for Paulie. It's so nice to talk with you. And thank you so much for sharing your camp memories from Kramer to the Hill.
You are very welcome. It is my pleasure. And again, I hope also will give you the videos of some of the shows that I can find. And by all means, if you can show it to, make it available to anyone that wants to watch it, that would be wonderful. So thank
That's the
you. Thank
plan.
you for the
That's the plan.
opportunity to
Yeah.
share experiences and recognizing again that my involvement with camp, my project with camp, was worthwhile. Thank you.
That was part 3 of our conversation with Nili Kosmal, who taught Israeli dancing and musical production at Camp Hess Kramer for 18 summers. Please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss our next conversation with a player to be named later. And don't forget to tune into part 1 and part 2 if you haven't already. Both are linked down below in the description. Don't forget to mark your calendars for camp's upcoming events at camp. The Back to Our Roots event at Camp Hess Kramer in Malibu on Sunday, August the 30th. If you haven't heard from camp in a while, you can update your contact info by visiting wbtcamps.org/alumni/update your info, which is linked down below in the description. And that's how you'll be able to hear when registration opens for all the events. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.